Let me tell you about the movie Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. The main character is named Dastan, who is the adopted son of the Persian king. Above him are two elder brothers. One day, the three princes and their uncle Nizam march to the outskirts of the Holy City, a city-state allied with Persia. Nizam claims that his spies intercepted a shipment of weapons intended for an enemy nation, accusing the Holy City of betrayal. In anger, the eldest prince changes the military objective and orders an attack on the Holy City. Dastan leads a small team to infiltrate the Holy City under the cover of night. They open the city gates for the larger army outside. As the city is on the brink of falling, the Holy City's princess instructs a knight to secretly transport a crucial dagger to the temple. The knight crosses paths with the valiant Dastan, and the dagger is seized from him. The eldest prince and his forces storm the palace, pressuring the princess to reveal the location of the armory. The princess insists there is no armory, but the second prince suggests that she will talk under duress. Unwilling to see the princess harmed, Dastan returns with the dagger. The eldest prince proposes marriage to the princess to avoid unnecessary bloodshed, aiming to establish control over the Holy City through the union. At this moment, Dastan reappears with the dagger, revealing that the princess was spared due to the dagger not reaching the temple. The princess agrees to the marriage proposal. Not long after, the king hurriedly arrived in the Holy City and angrily questioned the eldest prince about why he attacked an ally. The eldest prince claimed there were signs indicating that the Holy City was providing weapons aid to the enemy nation. The king retorted, stating that mere signs weren't enough to invade an ally and demanded concrete evidence. He warned of how other allies would perceive their actions without proof. The eldest prince assured the king that he would find the evidence. The eldest prince encountered Dastan and asked if he had prepared a gift for the king. Dastan admitted he had forgotten, and the eldest prince offered him a finely crafted, luxurious ceremonial robe to present to the king. In return, Dastan was asked to speak favorably of the eldest prince in front of the king, hoping to gain approval for marrying the Holy City princess. Dastan agreed to his elder brother's request. Next, Dastan presented himself to the king during a banquet, offering the robe. The king, pleased, intended to reward his adopted son. Dastan quickly brought the Holy City princess forward, hoping the king would approve her marriage to the eldest prince. The king, impressed by Dastan's character, declared that the princess would be Dastan's first wife, not the eldest prince's. As the king praised his adopted son, he suddenly cried out in pain. The robe was poisoned. Despite attempts to remove it, anyone touching the robe suffered burns. In agony, the king succumbed to the lethal poison. The second prince accused Dastan and ordered his capture. Dastan's followers fought fiercely to create an escape route. Amidst the chaos, the princess and Dastan fled the Holy City. The princess's escape was motivated by the fact that Dastan's true objective was the dagger. The two found a safe place to rest and regroup. Dastan asserted that his elder brother must be the murderer, as the poisoned robe was a gift from him. The princess agreed, and his brother would ascend the throne upon the king's death. Suddenly, the princess attempted to kiss Dastan, acknowledging that he was innocent. During the intimate moment, she inadvertently touched the dagger on Dastan's person. Reacting swiftly, Dastan restrained her wrist. However, she drew a knife from her horse, intending to take Dastan's life. In the struggle, Dastan accidentally touched the gemstone on the dagger, turning himself into a pile of sand. The events rewound before his eyes, and Dastan found himself back at the moment when the princess attempted to steal the knife. Confused by the bizarre turn of events, Dastan failed to avoid the princess's lethal strike. Injured, he pressed the gemstone again, returning to the moment just before the princess reached for the knife. Threatening her, Dastan warned that he would cut off her hand if she attempted to take the knife again. Perplexed, the princess asked why he said again. Dastan revealed the dagger but found that it no longer responded to the gemstone. The princess angrily exclaimed that he had used up the sand. Dastan realized that the dagger possessed the power to reverse time, but it required time sand to function. He inquired about the maximum time reversal capability, wondering if he could save his father. The princess refused to provide the information. Dastan concluded that his elder brother's attack on the Holy City was not to find an armory but to locate the magical dagger, a tool that would grant him knowledge of enemy movements and ensure dominance on the battlefield. It seemed his brother's ambitions extended beyond becoming the Persian king. He aspired to conquer the world. The next day, Dastan decided to return for his father's funeral, feeling that the only person he could trust at the moment was his uncle, Nizam. He believed that if he could establish contact with his uncle, Nizam would help expose his elder brother's conspiracy. On their journey, they encountered a caravan, and pay attention to the guy playing the role of the caravan owner. Can you recognize him as the actor who portrayed Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man? The owner ran an ostrich race gambling den and happened to be in need of beautiful waitresses. So, Dostan sold the princess to the owner for the price of a camel. Before parting with her, he managed to obtain some spare sand from her. The owner, however, was no fool and questioned Dastan's valuation. He pointed out that the princess was worth more than just a camel, at least 2 camels worth. Suspicious, he speculated that Dastan resembled the prince wanted for regicide, offering a higher reward. Just as the owner was about to trade Dastan for the reward, the princess released all the ostriches, creating chaos. Seizing the opportunity, the two escaped the clutches of the merchant amid the pandemonium. On the day of the king's funeral, Dastan stealthily approached his uncle, Nizam, and wrote a note inviting him to meet at the marketplace. Nizam arrived as agreed, and Dastan tightly embraced him, finally encountering a relative. Dastan revealed that his elder brother had killed the king and invaded the holy city not for an armory but to find a dagger capable of controlling time. He assured Nizam that he had brought the dagger and implored him to believe. Nizam skeptically asked to see the dagger, and without hesitation, Dastan handed it over. Upon inspecting it, Nizam expressed disbelief, claiming that he could distinguish between a dagger and a nutcracker. Dastan silently cursed the princess for the substitution. Dastan noticed Nizam's injured hand. Nizam explained that he had touched the poison robe while attempting to remove it from the king. Dastan recalled that many people were present when the poison robe was removed, but Nizam hadn't been among them. As archers appeared, attempting to ambush Dastan, he fled. Later, the eldest prince questioned Nizam about Dastan's intentions. Nizam claimed that Dastan had sought to assassinate him, narrowly escaping. He warned the eldest prince of potential rebellion, suggesting a swift execution if Dastan were captured, despite the prince's commitment to rule by law. While verbally agreeing with the prince's stance, Nizam secretly dispatched a clandestine assassination group with the intent to eliminate Dastan. Dastan once again found himself in the company of the princess. He now knew that the mastermind behind the scenes was none other than his uncle, Nizam. Even if it were filled with sand, it could only rewind time by a minute. The princess revealed that beneath the holy city, there was a large hourglass left by the gods. By inserting the dagger of time into it, the sand within the hourglass had the power to reverse time to any chosen moment. However, such an act would anger the gods, unleashing apocalypse upon the world. Dastan shared his father's favorite story about his and Nizam's youth, where Nizam had once saved him during a hunting expedition. Dastan suspected that Nizam desired to rewind time to that moment, choosing not to save the king, thereby allowing himself to ascend to the throne. The princess added that if the dagger of time were inserted into the hourglass, both of them would turn to dust. She knew of a temple that could seal the dagger of time, and she pleaded to be allowed to seal it before Nizam took it. Dastan adamantly refused, unwilling to let a vulnerable woman take such a risk. However, before they could get far, they encountered the merchant again. The merchant, intending to exchange them for a reward, bound the two. Later that night, assassins sent by Nizam found them. Dastan memorized the snake's attack pattern and used the dagger of time to save everyone. Impressed, the merchant changed his opinion of Dastan and decided not to trade him for the reward. Instead, he offered to escort them to the temple. Upon reaching the temple, they unexpectedly encountered Dastan's second brother, who was tasked with capturing him. Dastan provided a heartfelt explanation, and just as his second brother began to believe him, the assassins arrived and killed him. With the dagger of time now in their possession, they hurried back to the city to report their success. Determined to stop Nizam, Dastan decided to risk everything, even if it meant preventing the annihilation of everyone. The merchant, initially wanting to escape, chose to assist Dastan. Later, the servant sacrificed his life to reclaim the dagger of time. Dastan revealing Nizam's conspiracy. The elder brother remained skeptical. Could there truly be something that could turn back time? Dastan urged his brother to press the gemstone on the dagger, demonstrating its power. Before he could finish explaining, he used the dagger to take his own life. Nizam arrived, claiming to be there to protect the king, but the elder brother ordered him to stand aside and pressed the gemstone. Time reversed, and Dastan considered suicide again. The elder brother intervened, warning Dastan that he wouldn't have the sand to save him if he died again. Nizam took the dagger of time, intending to use it to pierce the hourglass beneath the city and trigger apocalypse. Dastan and the princess arrived at the scene through a secret passage just in time. Nizam pushed the princess off a cliff and inserted the dagger into the hourglass. Dastan's hand coincidentally touched the dagger, meaning they would share memories as they returned to the past. Time flowed backward until the day the Persian forces breached the holy city. Dastan pulled out the dagger at that moment and ascended to a high point, shouting that the Holy City had no armory and that Nizam was the instigator of the war. Despite just conquering the city, the Persians were initially skeptical of Dastan's claims. Dastan suggested having the spy who discovered the weapons interrogated to verify his statements. Infuriated, Nizam attempted to kill Dastan, but the elder brother killed Nizam instead. The elder brother then entered the castle, apologized to the princess, and proposed that she marry Dastan to restore trust among allies. Dastan approached, presenting the dagger of time to the princess, winning her heart once again. The two began a happy and content life together. The movie concluded with a pondering question: where was the promised apocalypse? Dastan questioned the double standards, wondering if it was only the villain's hourglasses that angered the gods, while those of the virtuous remained unscathed.